שירו למלך הטובונים שירו 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 למלך בספרס מפויו הטובונים שירו שירו הטובונים שירו למלך אוי הטובונים שירו 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 למלך בספרס מפויו אוי 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 באשרי יעבודו ויעבודו המשמיעים בקוי שיבחוי והטובונים שירו 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 למלך שירו שירו למלך Oy bi ashle yavodo voyavodo Oy hamash miyim bekoy shiyim bekoy Be atovonim shiru 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 la melech shiru la melech Oy bi ashle yavodo
Shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shavua. May God bless you. God be with you. How you guys are doing today? Hopefully you guys are enjoying your Sabbath. And today is Friday, and I hope you had a wonderful week. This week was a little warm here, not much of rain or anything. And it was really a pleasant week. Hopefully, it's going to get longer and longer daytime now because it's getting summer now. I think yesterday or day before yesterday we had the longest day of the year or ever. I don't know. It was so long because sunset was too late. So we're going to have a long daytime and a short night time. Hopefully, you guys are also having a fun time and enjoyable weather and everything. So, without any further ado, we will jump into our regular subject matter here. We were talking about Mark, the Gospel of Mark, and today we're going to talk about Mark chapter 12. And there's a lot to unpack and reveal from this chapter because so many things are happening this one. Usually, we think that the Gospel chapters are small, but in Mark, every chapter is huge and humongous. Got to go through everything. But we will take a look on this one. Again, the disclaimer is I'm not here to hurt anyone. I'm not here to pinpoint any person particularly. And here is the truth. Take it and leave it. It's up to you. It could be wounding, it could be hurting, but that is not at all, the intention from me to do like this. But I gotta tell you guys the truth. That's why I'm here. I hope you will understand me. I hope you will, definitely respect the place where I'm coming from, and you can learn and you can study yourself. Take something from here, and then you can go and dig in yourself and study everything you want, and you can take decision from there. So this is for your information. Let's dive into Mark chapter 12, and there are a lot of things to be covered here. There is who killed Jesus? Was it Jewish people? That's why commonly everywhere it has been told that Jewish people killed Jesus. That's one big thing always floating around from years to years. And then about the killings of the prophets, and who, because why they were killing, or is it true Jewish people are killing the prophets? And also there is a parable about the wine tree, and also which includes about the wine grower and the wine yard owner and his son and everything. And also we'll be digging something about the Psalms chapter 118, about the messianic prophecy, what the song was compared to Jesus Christ, how it was compared. And also we'll be talking about the in the questions that Jewish people are asking to Jesus, and what Jesus was answering to them, and how he was replying to them, and those type of things. This is a very, very big chapter to go through. I think a lot of things to be discussed, but I'm going to give you in a nutshell. It's up to you to go and dive in and study and go from there. So the first thing is that Mark chapter 12, and it is a very simple thing. That it starts like this: and he began to speak unto them by parables. A certain man planted a vineyard and set an hedge about it, and digged a place for the wine fat, and built a tower, and let it out to husbandmen, and went into a far country. And at the season he sent to the husbandman a servant, that he might receive from husbandmen of the fruit of the vineyard. And they caught him, and beat him, and sent him away empty. And again he sent unto them another servant, and at him they cast stones, and wounded him in the head, and sent him away shamefully handled. And again he sent another, and him they killed, and many others, beating some and killing some. Having yet therefore one son is well beloved, he sent him also last unto them, saying, they will reverence my son. But those husbandmen said among themselves, this is the heir, come, let us kill him, and inheritance shall be ours. And they took him and killed him, and cast him out of the vineyard. So what shall therefore the Lord of the vineyard do? He will come and destroy the husbandmen, and will give the vineyard unto others. And have ye not read the scripture? The stone which the builders rejected is become the head of the corner. Let's start at the verse number 9. Basically what here Jesus was telling, he's starting with a parable of the vineyard. And in that, the first thing itself, what happens is they were killing the prophets, and this is what the blame is. Jewish people were killing all those prophets, and also they killed the Jesus. That's what the main accusation kept on Jewish people thus far. So if you see that one, in any way possible, in anywhere, in any in the world, if someone kills somebody, that doesn't mean the whole country killed them. That doesn't mean like that. There's so many things. Rajiv Gandhi was killed in India by a group of people, right? But those six, and especially there was one lady who killed him by the self-detonated bombs, right? So instead of telling her, we cannot tell the whole Indians killed Rajiv Gandhi or Tamilians killed Rajiv Gandhi. That doesn't make sense. Same way, like Abraham was died, and other leaders of America also died, and you cannot tell them Americans killed Abraham, because there are a particular person who killed him. So that's how you should think when you start thinking about, when they say Jewish killed Jesus. No, they are not. There were some killing happening. Let's see, King Jehoash killed the son of Nadab. Joachim killed the prophet Yoiada, and also Isaiah was killed by King Manasseh. Wicked kings killed the prophets. Not all the Jewish people killed them. And also Queen Isabel, her, she killed hundreds and hundreds of prophets. So the Bible and Quran, love to quote and point that Jewish people killed the prophets, which is not true. Absolutely, there were kings, there were other rulers. They killed all these prophets there. Okay, so Jeremiah 2 chapter 2 to 3 says God was really. Let's read this chapter. It's very nice. Let's read Jeremiah chapter 2. 2 to 3. Saying to me in the hearing, and cried, Go, the saying of Jerusalem, you, I remember, Yahweh says, the love of your youth, the kindness. After me, when you went of your betrothal, not in a land in the wilderness, sown. So what it says basically here, Halok vekarata bezen Jerusalem lemor ko amar Yahweh zakarti lachisait ased nuvarek ahabat Kelu lotayik lektek hare bamidbar lo beres and zoreha, meaning that he's saying that the love of your youth and the kindness after me, when you went after betrothal, of your betrothal. So God was appreciating the kindness and love of Israel. It's not that Israel people they killed the prophets, they killed the people, but God Himself was appreciating and awarding or rewarding the Jewish people's, the love and kindness and the truth in Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 2 and 3. So, who, when people say that Jewish people killed Jesus, that's not true. Not all the Jewish people did that. That's really a false statement. You should be telling that. There was a kingdom, there was a Pharaoh, and there was a Herod. There was a Herod, and the Roman Greek kingdom was there. Rulers, they had to go through certain process, and they put him into even the crucifixion on cross is not a Jewish version of killing. They don't do the crucifixion on the cross to kill anybody. That's not the Jewish system, or Jewish follow that, right? So it's a false statement that Jewish killed Jesus. That's not right. So many kings killed the prophets. So many people they killed, hundreds and hundreds of prophets in Jewish history. Remember that. So the second one we are going to see that one. There were wine grower, and these wine growers who rented the land were so greedy. They want to rent the vineyard, but they want everything, not giving back to the owner, nothing. They don't want to give anything. They want to grab everything. according to the Christians, what they say that Jesus was getting more popular and popular every day. Jewish people wanted to kill him. This is the big thing for them. Jesus was getting every day popular and popular. So Jewish people thought that they could kill him easily. That's the motivation they killed Jesus. That's how they always say that. No, that's not right. Because I'll come to that one. The only group of people that were threatened by Jesus was Sadducees. But the Gospels adding up people to this list: Sadducees, Pharisees, and also some deacons, some other public. So in the Gospels, when you read, every story will adding up all these deacons and common public and Sadducees and Pharisees. So they're putting them together. But actually the only people usually threatened by Jesus was Sadducees. Okay, but Gospels proclaims more than that. So in this parable, what it says is like the owner was going to execute the vine growers, meaning Jerusalem will be destroyed and the vineyard will be given to others. See, that's how the Christianity we have for you. The owner is going to come and he is going to, execute everybody, all the wine growers and everyone, and he's going to give the land to the other people, for the Christians basically. That's how John MacArthur, who is a famous Messianic Jewish guy, he tells that it was fulfilled by establishment. This parable is fulfilled by establishment of church, because it is given to the church. Church took the gospel and everything. So this parable is basically reflecting the establishment of church. But this is the parable of the replacement theology. So Mark 12:10 says that Jesus is asking a question: have you not even read the scriptures? Psalm 118 22 to 23. The stone builder rejected to become the cornerstone. That's the main idea. The stone builder, who was rejected and vomited, has become the cornerstone of the building. So Jesus was implying himself that he was having been rejected and vindicated is this prophecy, in himself, that Jesus was the Lord, or this was the Messiah. He has become the cornerstone. That's what Jesus was implying himself. But is the Psalms is a prophetical book? Yes or no? But some people think that David told in his Psalms it's prophetically mentioned already before Jesus was born. Look at the Psalms. David is prophesying already. Book of Psalms is not a prophetic book, quote unquote. Tanakh, Torah, Nevi'im, and Ketuvim. Nevi'im is the prophetical books. You can see the prophetical books: Isaiah, Jeremiah, Hezekiel, Micah, Joel, and so many other books are prophetical books. Ketuvim, the teaching books, the life teaching books, are Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes. These are the life teaching books. If it is the prophetical books, they should have kept in the prophetical book, like Nevi'im. It is not been kept there. So Psalms, basically the book of Psalms, is not a prophetical book. You can never quote 118 Psalms is the prophetical phrases which reference Jesus as the cornerstone. Absolutely not right. So you can see this one, right? So 118 Psalms talks about King David, not Jesus. Isaiah 53 says, the Messiah, the coming Messiah would be how it will be. He will be despised. He will be rejected. So basically it talks about the Israel was the one rejected and despised, not Jesus Christ, because Jesus was so popular. Always people are running around him. Thousands and thousands of people. He was not rejected. People took him. People loved to be with him. So Isaiah 53 when you compare with Jesus, it's not the same thing, absolutely opposite. So the person or the one who is been described here is especially the Israel people as the rejected and omitted and despised. That's what the book says in Isaiah 53. Okay, they were, the Israel was always despised, thousands and thousands of years, wherever they go. In Zechariah 8:22-23, it says that Israel is the light of the world, and the whole world will be going behind them on the final days. Right, and Psalms Genesis 49:24. I want to see this Genesis 49 tour, if you don't mind. Just give me 1 minute, okay? Let's get back to Genesis 49:24. I really want to see that one. Genesis, let's go 49. Where is the verses we are talking about? 24, yes. 24th word. Oh my goodness, a huge big one. I said. All right. Wow, it goes from, if you start with 23, 24, I'll go from 24th. But remained in his strength, his bow of his hands, the arms were tempered of Jacob, of the mighty God, by the hands, the stone, the shepherd from there is of Israel. See, the stone, the shepherd, from there is the stone of Israel. From there is the shepherd, the stone of Israel. From there is the stone of Israel. 49:24 tells Israel is the stone. Israel is a stone. Remember, 49:24 exactly tells the stone is the Israel. Let me read it in another language. I really want to read this one in one more language. Let's go there. And see that. 12th. Let me read this in another language. Index. And we go Genesis 49:24. 24. There you go. ஆனாலும் அவனுடைய வில் உறுதியாய் நின்றது, அவன் புயங்கள் யாக்கோபுடைய வல்லவரின் கரங்களால் பலத்தன. இதனால் அவன் இஸ்ரவேலின் கண்மலையும் கண்மலையும் ஆனான். So இஸ்ரவேலின் மெய்ப்பனும் கண்மலையுமாகினான். So it talks about the Israel's cornerstone is who? That's what it is. Like like either it is David or it talks about the Israel. So let's go back to this chapter. So Psalm 118:22, the stone which builders rejected has become the cornerstone. And in verse 23, this came about him from the Lord. This is very clear and obvious that the stone is rejected by the God, not by by people or anything. Christian assumption is that the rejected stone is a Lord, but Lord God, but it is not true, because how come it's possible the rejected stone is Lord itself, but God himself is telling about the rejected one? But how come in Christianity they say that God is the rejected stone? It cannot be possible that God can be a rejected stone when he was telling by himself to in the Isaiah in Psalms chapter 118:22. multitude didn't hate him, they become liking Jesus, right? Jesus seems to assume that he was attacking Jewish leaders because they didn't jump on his wagon. Like, Jesus was preaching, so many people are following, but the Jewish leaders were not following. So Jesus was attacking them because they were not following him. That was one thing. So he was attacking the Jewish leaders for not jumping in his bandwagon. Okay? Simply for two reasons. One is, who are they going to assume what Jesus was? He doesn't know. He expected, they assumed him as the Messiah. And he was assuming himself as God. So if the Jesus was assuming himself as a Messiah and as a God, Jewish people were not jumping him and rejecting him from those two positions. Jesus was angry. That's why he was catching him all the time. So Jesus was never walked around and claiming that he was the Messiah. Public actually expected him to stop the taxes, at least. The taxes that, what this Greek kingdom was putting on, but what the Romans were putting on there. But Jesus says, render what belongs to God and what belongs to Caesar. Look at that. They wanted him to get these taxes out of their way, but Jesus was telling, pay whatever belongs to Caesar, pay whatever belongs to God. That is, it's not that Jesus is a new invention of saying that one. It's already Jewish law. That's what it is, basically. Sadducees don't believe in a resurrection. We all knew that. They come and challenges him, Jesus, with a question of brother and his wife. You read the story of, a brother had a wife, he died, another next brother got married and he died, the other brother got married. So like that, the story goes on to several brothers, right? But the question was, who would be she when they, will go to heaven, when they resurrected back, which brother that he would belongs to be as a wife. So in this one, Jesus was telling to them, not at all, because they're not, he was blaming that the Sadducees were not understanding the scriptures properly, because when they go up, they're not going to go in a physical body, they'll be in a spiritual momentum, so you don't know who was there. So that's what he was talking about, the spiritual resurrection, not the physical one. So, and also he asked them a question, have you not read the book of Moses? God said, I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, meaning they're alive in their life. So if the God is telling that I am the God of Abraham, Jacob, and Isaac, already these people are alive, living in the heavens over there. What Jesus was, telling to them as an afterlife, that God was the God of Abraham, Jacob, and Joseph. So, and also the next thing, the Jewish people, the Sadducees, going and asking to Jesus, which commandment is the greatest commandment? Again, you should think about this one, like, which commandment is the greatest one? Let's read this one, what the Jewish people were asking, and what Jesus answered. I don't know. Where was that? So in the 28th word, in the 12th chapter, it says it, and one of the scribes came, and having heard them reasoning together, and perceiving that he had answered them well, asked him, which is the first commandment of all? And Jesus answered him, the first of all the commandments is, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment. And the second is, namely this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than this. And the scribe said unto him, well, Master, thou hast said the truth, for there is one God, and there is none other but He. None other but He. and to love him with all the heart and with all understanding and with all the soul and with all the strength, and to love his neighbor himself is more than all whole burnt offerings and sacrifices. And when Jesus saw that, he answered discreetly, and he said unto him, Thou art not far from the kingdom of God, and no man after that dost ask him any question. Okay, basically what they're telling here is, Jesus is quoting back it was not a new commandment or nothing he was quoting. He was talking about the Deuteronomy 6, chapter 6 and verse 4. It talks about how people should be wholeheartedly accept and worship God. So that's the same thing Jesus was telling, but he was telling them that is as a commandment. I wrote it in the title, what is a commandment and what is a statement? That was a statement, that was not a commandment. In Jewish people, Jewish people always take, even though we call it as a 10 commandments, the first one was a statement. Commandment in the same meaning, the commanding thing, like thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not steal. Look at that. Thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt, honor the parents. So you see, these are the commandments, but whereas, the beginning statement was a statement, but it also bundled inside the commandments when we call. That's what it's been told when he was asking. They're asking, tell us one of the best, the greatest commandment. What do you think of? But he was talking about the statement, not about the commandment. Even though it is included in the commandment, it is simply a statement only. That's what that Jewish people are trying to tell. So Psalm 110, Messiah is the son of David, meaning descendant of David. If Jesus said, David says, Lord, he is David's Lord, how come he becomes son? So when in the 110th Psalm, if the David is telling Lord to his God, how that God become his son, David's son? It's hard, it's difficult. So when it says that it's David himself telling God as my Lord, how come God become his own, David's son? Like, how Jesus become son of David? It is highly impossible, right? So these are the questions in the chapter Mark 12. Just read this one, And the psalm is not written by David. This psalm is not written by David. And, this is not a psalm. It's a psalm about David and not a psalm by David. This is not a psalm by David. So that's why the verses are written like this. So, folks, think all these things we talked today. These are the things that very particularly it was talked in Mark chapter 12. Remember this. You yourself go ahead, look for the Bible verses, find the verses, and also think about how Jesus was talking to those people, disciples and other common public, and also the references he was giving was not the commandment, it was only a statement. And also he was giving the parables in vineyard, and that was also not fitting into them. And also he was talking about the the first thing that they killed, Jewish people killed the Jesus, and which was not true too. So folks, enjoy this chapter 12, read this one more time, understand whatever I said, and you yourself go and find which is the truth and what's the truth. Okay, all right guys, and let me stop over here, and we'll get back with tomorrow with one more chapter. Until then, Shabbat Shalom, Shavua Tov. May God bless you. God be with you. Shalom.
אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא ועת נעשה בחפצו כל. אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא. והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפצו כל. אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא. והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפצו כל. אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא. והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה, והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפצו כל. אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא. והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפצו כל. אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא. והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפצו כל. אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא. והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה, והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. בחפצו כל. אזי מלך שמו נקרא. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפצו כל. אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא. והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפצו כל. אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא. והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה, והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה, והוא הווה והוא יהיה